Okay.
Yo, good day, and welcome to another episode of the Road FS podcast. And of course, I'm looking super fly because
He is.
we just
Jody's
got
just
back
back
from
cool.
Florida. I still want to be there in the sun, but actually, it didn't. There wasn't a lot of sun. But
no, it rained a lot, like
so
really, really hard.
I'm wearing the sunglasses because we went out and played with the ocean, and let's just say the ocean won and took my glasses. So I get to wear the prescriptions. So anyway, we're super excited to be back. The leather repair summit was out of the park.
It was awesome.
Out of the park.
Don't know if you guys saw it or not, but we got a bunch of videos. And something happened to the connection, it said on here.
I don't know.
Anyhow,
I can still see you there.
We had a great time out there, and today, you're not seeing.
Oh well, maybe you lost connection.
We're gonna try something different because we want to do a sponsor shout out today to Glassparency.
Yep. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You guys all know Glassparency, but I made a comment. I made a smart ass comment the other day about how I wanted to be in the club with Glassparency,
the Tony Club,
and I got in the club. So we're gonna show you some stuff here.
All right,
I'm gonna do some unboxing.
So let me change this so we can get Rod's thing going here. I'm gonna bring on the camera and we can see what kind of goodness we have.
First off, Tony here with it says it's imported from Tony GP. So then I'm going to stand up, open the box up here. This is awesome. It's got the whole, let's turn it this way.
All right. Oh, look at that.
Literally.
He's got us.
I can't really read it. It says, welcome to another episode of Road FS Memoirs. I'm Rod Puzey. I'm Jody Sedrick. We got Tony GP over here. The best hair in the business.
That's right.
Tony
the
GP.
Best hair. Baby.
So then as we open up the rest of this, we got the typical Tony nice message. Hey, Rod. Hope it's all good. Have a fantastic day from Tony. And then he sent me some awesome GP products to try out with a letter and an explanation of how to actually use them. But I got some cool stuff in here we're going to try out. We got some Boost and some wipe down spray and a couple of compounds, some microfibers, all kinds of stuff. So Tony, thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
We love it. Thank you.
Yeah, super cool.
Awesome.
So what we will do, of course, let me get rid of that camera and let us put back on this because we have to recognize in the upper right-hand corner of this, mad shout out to the Glassparency team. Thank you, Tony, for thinking of us and making it fun. I'm going to slide the mouse over to Rod so he can drive and I can take my glasses off and I don't look like a
he is a blind
douchebag.
He is a blind. I wasn't going to go with that, but he's a blind man.
Okay. I am blind. Well, I can read up close, just not far, but yeah. So we're
there we go.
There you
go.
All
right. Is that better?
I'm going to look good.
There we go. And you know what? I make this look good all the time with glasses. So.
And the thing is, I don't have cool tats, so, but that's all good. So, well,
we can work on that.
So Rick Kolb is
thank you.
our guest. We have known Rick for a number of years. He owns a small company called Spot Free Detail. And it's interesting because we had you on the podcast a couple years ago, and you had this little itty bitty narrow workshop, and now you've taken a big leap with a little bit of nerves and have a new and improved, larger, spacious workshop.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, so it's definitely a big difference from the other space for sure.
So let's talk about that. I mean, you and I were talking offline and you're like, it was a big move for me. It's like you took a big breath and pushed the button, go.
Right. The volume's breaking up a little bit. So if I don't answer the questions, then that's kind of why. But we have been looking at a shop space for probably over a good year and a half, maybe even 2 years, just, cruising around, entertaining some properties and whatnot. We actually had one in a small town from here for a very short period of time, but it just didn't work out and it wasn't a good space. My wife happened to find this one driving around town, sent it to me in a picture text message, and I called, and boom, here we are.
So tell everybody how big is the shop? I know we talked about it before. How big is the new shop?
Yep. This is 3,200 square feet with a storefront. It used to be a brakes for less company, so they had cars in here changing brakes and whatnot. So it's got a cool little storefront, cool little desk counter area. And then the shop space itself is probably 3,000 to 2,800 square feet, 5 bay doors. Yeah, it's pretty legit. We're right off of a very busy 4-lane highway here in Spartanburg, and we couldn't be happier to be here.
That's exciting. I think I kind of want to go back to kind of your evolution, right? Because somebody coming in the business might see you now. They see that super fire shop, with the awesome paint job, you standing there with your shoulders and your cool logo going there, and they're like, "Man, I'm never gonna make that." And I think if we could rewind back to 3 years ago on the first episode, did you imagine ever having a shop that big and luxurious?
To be honest with you, no. But the more I thought about it and the more we kept talking about it with my family and my wife, which is a huge support for this space and for my business, everything about this space, including the color scheme from the outside, which is our colors, gray and red. We're close to the home, to my house. There were so many great things about this space that were just saying, this is the one, let's do it. Did I ever think that I would be here? No, I didn't. Actually, I did. I just didn't know how long my journey was going to be. And we're still on the journey. Yeah.
I like that, because I think a lot of times people, they have something in the back of their mind what's going to happen. Because I mean, Rod and I can attest to this, because when we started Roto Fest back in 2009, we had to go to the bank. We had to give them projections of what we were doing. We built this, this business plan, if you will, and we had all these projections out. And if we went back and looked at the projections, dude, none of it aligned, right?
No.
But it gave us this
Right.
kind of blueprint that we were marching towards. And eventually, I mean, inevitably, you're going to hit these huge curveballs that set you back, force you to pivot. And, it's like, in some ways, I think we're ahead of where we envisioned, but in other areas, I'm like, well, there's that thing that we still haven't accomplished. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a pretty accurate assessment there. And I think that's, as you can probably attest to, Rick, is businesses like that. You kind of have to ebb and flow, and, and then suddenly the world throws something at you, like an opportunity for a shop, and you've got to take it. And, you might not have envisioned that it was going to be that big or that small or that whatever, but you got to kind of take them as they come. Right.
Right. Absolutely.
So what would you attribute to kind of your continued growth and success over the years in your business?
I would attribute that to consistency and customer service, I believe. If you're consistent and you give good customer service, and the product, the quality speaks for itself, word of mouth and things like that are absolutely amazing. And I think that that's something that we've really tried to focus on, is being consistent, and then give good hospitality and good customer service to our clients when they choose us.
Now, you guys do a wide variety of services, right? I think you do cars and golf carts.
No, so not golf carts, but I mean, we would for sure. So part of our mobile division is where we really saw some growth was the opportunity to connect with country clubs, high-end country clubs. We at that point have a captive audience, and so we're not being mobile, having to go back and forth. So that's huge. Our mobile unit is still currently running right now, while we try to build the shop at the same time. So, just trying to stay focused and keep momentum going.
So help us envision that. So you have your little mobile unit that pulls up to a nice golf resort, and then the guys that are playing, they let you detail their cars while they're on the golf course.
Yeah. So basically, the way we have it set up, Jody, is we work directly with the concierge or the golf pros, whoever handles the scheduling at the golf course. We've got an easy little spreadsheet that they work. They do marketing for us, so we do give the club what do you want to call it?
A kickback.
Commissions. Yeah, a kickback of commissions, because they are marketing for us. So they have a spreadsheet basically, and when the client calls and sets up an appointment time, our appointment times at the club start at 8 in the morning and they go as late as 5 in the evening. So they have a nice little spreadsheet. We show up, they have the cars ready for us. We're in the parking lot where we can have interaction with other members of the club. They can see what we're doing, and then it just strikes up conversation. So we currently have 3 to 4 country clubs that keep us pretty steady in this service.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is a really
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
I do. Thank you. Well, we thought about this because, especially being mobile, and if you guys are out there mobile, you know what I'm talking about. You have one job in one town, you need to pack up, go across town, set up, do another job, go across town, set up, do another job. You're spinning your wheels. You try to find a captive audience. Either it's a business with a lot of vehicles there, or country clubs, whatever it may be, so that you can have multiple cars to work on or multiple vehicles at the same place.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people we see that do that. And I think that is a key to entrepreneurship, is just being creative and figuring out where you can get your clientele. It doesn't matter. I mean, think about how many people throw how many high school students throw a car wash and have 35 cars show up on an afternoon. And I'm not saying that's the way to go if you're a professional detailer, but you definitely can be more creative than just kind of sitting and waiting for somebody to call on the phone. So,
right.
So
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the journey for Rick yourself. How long have you been detailing?
Oh, wow. I have been detailing probably 20 plus years, 25-ish years.
Whoa, dude,
Long
you've been
time.
at it a minute.
A long time.
Yeah.
I say professionally, the last 5.5, because, we launched our business in 2017, mobile, and we've been able to keep our heads above water this entire time. And obviously there's been growth and whatnot. So, before then I was a young hustler, and I had a friend that owned a detailing shop for a local car rental company here. So we just had a constant flow of vehicles, which led into other things. So, 20 plus years, been a lot. I've washed and cleaned a lot of vehicles.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's an interesting point, right? 20 years, and you got your first shop, small shop, like 3 years ago. And then now you have this big, luxurious 3,200 square foot dream shop with a storefront. And I think a lot of times business owners, they get frustrated at the pace. I mean, I do it, Rod does it, you've done it, right? And it's like, because we have big dreams, but there's something about the journey that is important, right? And
That's right.
we tend to want to rush the process. So let's talk about that. How did you develop kind of the patience, the tenacity, and the commitment to go, all right, I'm going to make this happen, even if I'm not where I want to be today?
Support from my wife, big time. From my family. I mean, you're taking a leap of faith here for sure, stepping out. But just trying to stay focused. The journey, you have to be patient. Like you had mentioned, we want things now, and for them to happen. But slow and low wins the race. A slow tempo, and dream, vision, plan, and execute. From Rennie Doyle Mafia. Stay focused on your plan, your vision, and keep going. Like, don't stop. This obviously didn't happen overnight, and I've paid my dues in the trenches and working and still trying to get to where we want to be.
Yeah, and I think that's very valuable. A lot of people that we talk to, anybody that's been around for 10 years or plus, you talk to them and they're like, I did never have a doubt that I was going to make it. And I think there's a difference. It's not a cockiness. It's not like a look at me. It's like, if I doubt that I'm going to make it, you've already lost the ability to make it. Right. And so that's the 100%. Thing. I never assume we're not going to make it. I mean, we just trudge forward, and people have asked us that before. They're like, how have you guys been around since 2009? I'm like, we never doubted it. And you have to push forward, and you have to be able to see the vision of actually succeeding. And it's, a lot of people talk about a vision board or diagrams and stuff. Jody and I, we constantly change our goals and change our vision, and where do we want to go and where do we want to go? And we pivot, and a new opportunity will come in and a new thing will come in, and we'll jump on it because we know that's how we're going to make it in the end.
Right.
And I think there's too many people that doubt themselves, or they go, I don't know how to make it. And that's what is an untimely demise of those companies, is just not having the vision that I can make it no matter what. So
sure. And with that, you need a strong support system too. I back in 2011, talking about a journey and keeping your mind focused on something, and telling yourself that you can do it. 2011, I signed up for Ironman Florida. Me and a good buddy of mine. So 2012, we actually did the race.
And we lost him. I think we lost him. Dang, that was going to be such a good story about the Ironman.
It's a cliffhanger.
Dang it.
It's a cliffhanger on the Ironman there. But while Rick is trying to get back in there, we will, again, make a shout out to our friends at Glass Parency.
Whoop, whoop.
And let's also talk about what's coming up. So last week we were in Florida.
Melbourne, Florida.
Next week, we're going to be in Indianapolis doing a training with Detailers of the Roundtable, the very first one. And we are going to be the kickoff of Global SV Week on the 10th. We are the kickoff to that. So,
so we're really excited. There's going to be an incredible lineup of training that we're going to be at in Indianapolis.
There's a ton of people there. I mean, Bob Rossman, you're going to have Nathan Warren, you're going to have Kirk Evans, Peyton Trout, Mike Ryan.
Right. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Huge, the amount of people that are going to be there. So tune in for that. That is the next week we will be on the road. So we will be doing our podcast live.
So while we're waiting for Rick, because I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get back in. So I want to talk about the Ironman. I mean, I was really interested to hear what his experience with the Ironman was, because about 6 years ago, there he is. He's coming back in.
Hey!
So there you are. So rather than tell my story, let's jump into your story, because I'm intrigued by you doing an Ironman.
You can't tell that now, but yes.
So what was that like for you doing the Ironman, and how did that affect your business? Oh, on the other side.
Hold on.
Yeah, you can't double up.
Yeah, I was trying to see if we could get this to clear up, but I got it. What was the question again, Jody? I'm sorry.
Talk about the
well,
Ironman and what-
you were starting to go into the Ironman, so let's just pick up right there. In 2011, you started to do an Ironman.
Uh-huh. The connection's bad. I can't hear you.
Okay, well, I'll just, because I know we got a little bit. So years ago, I decided to do an Ironman, right? And I attribute this to business because I did a lot of preparation. I spent hours running, biking, but I spent a special attention to swimming because I knew that was going to be, for me, the biggest challenge. And I'm a good swimmer. I spent a lot of time in the pool. And my buddy said, who had kind of talked me into doing it, he's like, Jody, you should go out to Quinn's Pond and swim out in the open. And it was about a 3/4 mile thing that I did. And I'm so glad I did it because it gave me a perspective of duration. Whereas, 25 meters, turn around, 25 meters, turn around, it's so mundane. And so I go out and I'm prepared, and I go out on this Saturday morning. I'm in my wetsuit. I'm with hundreds of people, right? And I was mentally prepared until I got in the water.
Oh no.
Because when I got in the water, it was a just chaos of legs and arms and swimmers and splashing in waves. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. I mean, people are running into me, and, I'm not even to the first buoy. I still got 2 more to go. And finally I'm like, dude, I got to take a breath. And it's funny because I sat there and I'm treading in water. And I think a lot of times we in business, we get so caught up in the chaos, we're getting bumped, we're getting knocked off course, and we start panicking. And what we need to do is just take a breath, start treading. And so I sat there and I'm watching all these other guys, swimmers, and they're just going off course or running into each other. I'm like, all right, let's get focused on that buoy. Let's get focused on that target in our business. And literally, I swam with my eyes just above the water, and I kept focused on that thing. And it enabled me to get rid of the distractions that were going on, and all of a sudden I was able to get through the race. And I've thought about that experience a lot because I think a lot of businesses really struggle because they're always looking at the chaos instead of staying focused on their vision.
The swim was pretty intimidating for me as well, and I'm a pretty strong swimmer, but it's like if you were thrown into a large washing machine and just splashing and kicking and mad chaos. It's pretty intense for sure. Until you get that line of sight. Once you get that line of sight and a little bit of clarity around you, you can keep your eye on that buoy a little bit easier.
Yeah. So let's go back, because you were sharing your experience of your Ironman 2011 and kind of how that positioned you for your business growth.
Yeah, just, I think it was in 2016, the end. My background is restaurant hospitality management for a lot of years. In 2016, I think at the end, I told my wife I was kind of burned out of this. I've been doing it for a very long time. And I was going to start my mobile detailing business. And she, obviously believed in me and pushed me forward and whatnot. But starting that business, I had a lot of challenges and struggles, just like everybody else does. We started washing cars. We were called detailers, but literally we were washing cars, starting at $25 a car. This was before I had a pressure washer. I pulled stuff out of the back of the trunk of the car. And, every time I did that, I just kept focusing on how do we become more efficient? How do I make this easier? How do we spend our money right and put it back into the business to make things easier for us? And that's been a lot of my focus over the years is, we started in the trunk of a Honda Accord with no equipment to the back of a Kia Soul. to a small transit van. We still have a transit, and then now we have a ProMaster, which is our workhorse. So going through that journey each time, whether it was, the business itself or focusing on trying to make our mobile rig as efficient as possible, time's money. It was a journey, and you had to mentally kind of stay focused on the next task and how do we complete this to get to where we want to be,
I love that.
Yeah, and I think that is
So
where
that was it.
a lot of people lose that. They want to take 5 steps at a time, and they don't realize that it's all steps. Everybody thinks I started my business and then I become a millionaire, and I've seen that so many times and talked to
Right.
people. They think that this is, and then the magic happens, and I'm going to start detailing, cars for $7,000 to wash them. And I think that part of that is just not accepting the journey, right? It is a journey, and it's a group of things that you have to do, that you step through. I always equate it back to cars, just because that's where we're at and that's where my head goes. But when you first got your very first car as a kid, if you think back to your very first car, it was not a Ferrari. Okay. It was a
Right.
piece of crap. Like, mine was the biggest shit you could possibly imagine. And like, literally, I could pull the steering wheel off driving it. It was just horrible car. But I got into that car and I fixed it up, and eventually that car became, something really cool. And then you move on to your next one, and your next one, and your next one. And that's where I think people, they want to go from that $600, junkyard special to a Ferrari overnight. And if they don't make it, they think there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just, the steps you have to take is you have to eventually get there. So, I think that, it's a big journey. You're well on your way. I mean, you've got a ton of years of experience.
Thank you.
You've also done a ton of really cool projects. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Rick Kolb is that you are super humble. You are approachable. You're humble. You're caring. You're not this cocky guy that's like, I've been doing this 20 years. You guys all suck. And I think that is the thing, is always to learn and be accepting of learning is a fantastic thing. So.
Absolutely. I will attribute I wouldn't say all of it, but a good percentage of it to the Mafia. I trained in 20 with Lobato. I think it was like one of his first classes that he had going on in his studio. Had a chance to meet Rennie Doyle, Jason Rose, some other people in that training. And I knew it was a group of professionals that I wanted to be a part of that could help me with my career, and I can return give back to help them as well. So I'm very engaged with the Mafia. I don't think that in my career, had I not come across some professionals within the industry such as these, I probably would not still be here. I had some struggles, and the Mafia has allowed me to do things that I never thought in my career would happen. And I've gained a lot of really great friendships from that. So, yeah.
That's good, man. That's super awesome. So, looking back, is there, and I think I know where you'll go because you kind of said it at the beginning, but looking back, what are 1 or 2 things that you think are really critical for people's long-term success in building their business, taking these scary leaps? Now, what would you recommend?
Surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with positive and energetic people who have some of the same vision that you have, and stay engaged. Training is huge. Educate yourself. If you don't know something, there's a big industry out here, and we want to help each other. That's what it's about. So if I was to say a couple things, it's don't give up, stay focused, reach out to your local community, your detailing network that you have, and stay engaged. There's help out there, and we can do this together. So I think that's probably a big thing.
That's awesome.
That's it. in a nutshell.
I wanted to touch on this too, and I think it may have a direct impact on some of the mobile guys out there still as well. It did me, and one thing that we talk about a lot in the Mafia is giving back to your community. Your community helps support you. They come in, they spend money with you, things like that. And when I was mobile, so my mobile, we didn't have a 30-mile radius. I mean, we went one way direction, 2 hours one way. Now, granted, we had multiple vehicles and it was worth going, but at the same time, we have a big area. And so with that being said, it was hard for me to feel a sense of community that I wanted to give back because I was spread everywhere. Even though we lived in a certain area and you could give back there, but my community was large. Now that we have a brick and mortar and a shop, I feel more grounded to be able to do more things for our community. We just got involved with the Chamber of Commerce, which we're excited about. And now we have an opportunity because we have a footprint here that we can give back. So we're looking at doing some really cool events here to generate funds for the local community, nonprofit charities, small little cruise-ins, or whatever we can do to let the general public know that we're here and what we have to offer and be able to give back.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I think that's something that people miss. They miss out on that. What can I do to give back? I mean, everybody wants to say they do, but you can tell when somebody really is doing it. And
sure.
That's something that it brings back dividends. It pays itself in dividends when you help other people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see you at SEMA, I'm assuming.
No, not this year. Too many irons in the fire with opening the shop. I did want to give a shout out to, I wouldn't be sitting here probably on this podcast right now if it wasn't for my employees. I have two. Chandler Mathis has been with me probably going on close to 4 years now. He is our lead technician in the mobile van, shop manager, if you will. And then Dre Jones has been with me probably about 6 or 8 months, self-taught window tinter. And he's actually out doing some tinting as we speak right now. So, big shout out to those guys because I wouldn't be doing some of the things I'm doing without the support of them. And so I just wanted to share that I really appreciate my team. Without them, it'd be a lot more challenging for sure.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that you took the time to acknowledge them. Because Rod and I joke about it a lot. We go to a lot of these events in an effort to be a part of the industry as well as promote the industry. And every trip, we know that the developers in the background who are developing RoadFS software, they're just waiting for the call from either Rod or me that says, "Hey, can we do this? Oh, guess what? We have a brand new idea. How long will it take to develop?" And we could not do what we do if it wasn't for the team in the background. And I mean, you've given great tribute to your wife, Eva. Rod and I feel the same way. I mean, when we started our business in 2009, and I remember going in and talking to my wife about some things that I was frustrated with the past company we were with. And she goes, "Just do it." I go, "Just do what?" She goes, "Just go start your own business. You've been talking about it, thinking about it, and having that support both at home and in the office. It makes a huge difference on one, whether or not you're going to make it, but two, whether or not you enjoy the process." So kudos to our team as well. So thank you for recognizing yours.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing is like you said at the very beginning, having a support system, whether that's family, employees, people that work with you. And I think too often people forget that we've all had a crappy job. And so like people ask us, what did you guys want to do when you started a business? We literally sat in a room and said, we want to have a business and we want to treat our people like the way we want to be treated. We're going to do everything that we're going to look at everything we hated about every job we've ever had, and we're going to do it differently.
Make it better.
We have our average employee's been here over 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
And so it's been
That's
very, very
fantastic.
good to us.
We only have one guy under 5.
Yeah, and he's just started. So he started 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
But again, big kudos to you guys. I don't know how you have an employee named Dre and you don't call him Dr. Dre, because I would be all over that every single.
Oh, I do.
It was his ringtone. His ringtone would come in, and it would be Dr. Dre.
We do. We all have nicknames that I can't say online right now, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's good, man. So, well,
that's Jody's nickname for me is "Damn You." He just goes, "Damn
that
you."
is not
oh,
it.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
For
it's
sure, yeah.
Scrooge McDuck. You are Scrooge McDuck.
McDuck,
Yes,
for
that's
sure.
all you are. Is like, can you just yes, and Princess Queen.
Princess Queen.
You are the lace daddy. Or
So-
wait, no, that's
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
we really appreciate everybody coming on. Just a big reminder.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Go out and check out Spot Free Detail. Check out Road FS and our YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to that. It helps us keep bringing people on, and that's just like probably the easiest thing you can do. You just hit a button that says subscribe. But we really appreciate you, Rick, and we appreciate everything you guys do and the group that you're part of. So again, big shout out to Tony and Heather at Glass Parency. I love it. I'm part of the club now.
Woo!
I'm super excited.
Yay.
Box up and hanging it on the wall.
I still can't believe he took a picture of both of us.
I know, that's awesome.
That's super cool.
So yeah, everybody just go out and have fun. Next week we're going to be live at a
Have a great day.
Sign up for trainings and take them. We were at this.
Yeah, it's not too late for the detailers of the round table.
That's right. You could sign up for Indy. I got an opportunity to share some stuff that I knew with people. It was pretty energetic.
Gosh, dude. He changed the conversation. And literally, I mean, Rod brought a skill that changed people's minds, expanded their minds, and people got excited. And so you're going to see some really cool things coming out of the Leather Repair Summit, in part inspired by this dude. So it was really fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So take
it looked like it. I caught videos or photos and stuff on social.
Yeah, it was cool.
So get out and do that. Awesome. Energize yourself as we go into the winter season and everybody starts to pivot towards cold weather interiors, salt on the roads, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And hey, reach out and do something good for somebody else.
And we will check you same time, same bad channel, just next week.
Yep.
See ya.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody.
We'll talk to you later. Great conversation.